Good morning, everybody. My name is Miriam Divine, and welcome to another one of my readings. This is December 19th. It's right in around the new moon, and actually we're going to do our new moon reading right now. I was usually wait until after I do my big offering ritual and stuff, and this year Hecate was like, no, you're not going to do your offering as normal this year. We got some other stuff to do, so do your new moon reading now. If anybody of you know, the new moon, the energy kind of lingers a few days before, a few days after. So if you are doing any type of work with new moons, full moons, or any of the moons, the energy lingers just a little bit. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to cleanse our space. So I'm just going to do it right here. And this is a little bit of lavender and a little bit of mugwort. And it's just to kind of get the space ready to go. And that is a fairy dust incense right in the center. So as you can see, I'm absent of candles. Let that fairy dust get going a little bit. Gets a little bit of smoke, a little bit of wind and fire energy. Okay, hopefully that'll be good enough to go. Let's see. I don't know if that fairy dust is gone or lit or not. Okay, and before I do a lot of my readings, what I do is a Kundalini draw, and I'll go much deeper into this once I have my own space and finally move into a better space. But I will start to teach how to do your Kundalini work, and it's basically a first step into opening up your magical centers. So I'm going to do that right now. It generally takes me just a few minutes. The first time around, I think it took a little bit longer. But let's just go ahead and okay. Basically what it is drawing up the energy up the spine and around, and lingering a lot up into the third eye area, which is actually very good for doing tarot readings and working with intuition. So as you can see, I flipped my board over. You know, I don't know why I spilled my incense all over it, and then when I was cleaning it, I was like, flip it over. Or actually, I wasn't. It was like the universe was like, flip it over. So we're first going to, I don't know why that card fell off, but we're going to draw some overall themes for this new moon from my Hecate deck, which it's really a light seers deck, but that Mother Hecate claimed some time ago. It's that one right there. I saw it. She said this one and this one. Okay, so those are our 3 cards. We're going to start with those. And we may not, I'm just going to set these off to the side here. We may or may not come back to those. So this is our overall theme for this new moon. Ooh, and this is going to be a longer reading, so grab yourself a cup of tea. I have mine right here. The reverse Ace of Swords. This is a get out of your mental game. I believe this new moon's in Sagittarius coming up. I believe. I'd have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure someone said that. And this is new beginnings of non-thinking, if that makes any sense. And the Knight of Pentacles also in reverse. Interesting. Stop doing a lot of earthly things for this new moon. And the Hierophant, right? Step into magic. Yes. Okay. These two are very much rooted in this world. Very much rooted in the physical, right? This one's very mental. You're overthinking, you're overanalyzing. There's a beginning here, but it is not with mental logic. And all these earthbound things, you know, this last month I've been a little bit overindulgent in food, probably because of Thanksgiving and this whole cycle. I've been kind of eating a little too much. It's time to step away from that. It's time to step away from physical things, you know, pleasures and things. Step a little bit away from that, and that's what's going to access this new moon magic the most. So for the next few days, do your meditations to step away from this, and your magic will be twofold or triplefold. As you can see, it's exploding off the top of the stairs. I kind of find it funny that the big meditation that me and Hecate are coming up, we're actually going to be accessing the Christ consciousness. If I can figure out how to do a thing, I can throw that video up here and how to do it. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. So what is next for this? I have my decks for the month. She said, I was going to put one of these, but I'm going to set it here to the side. We are going to draw one of these, but she actually was saying do one of these first. And I can smell that fairy dust in the mugwort. Now lavender. Oh boy, my room's really... This one and this one. She's almost like this one's a main one and this one's a hidden one. So this one we're going to save until the end. It's kind of like a hidden message for us all. And this is the main thing in the first house, right? Refining who you are. Self-image. Look here, I got my glasses right over here. You know, I can read things. Self-image, ego, identity, personality, body appearance, first impressions, and others' early childhood beginnings. In a sense, yes, this is you, right? And this talks about getting away from all of these things. This isn't very much in this house over here. Your first house is you, right? This is you stepping in. This magic that you are going to be doing, I believe it has a lot to do with you. So we're going to draw some of these here. Gotta grab them over. Now this is also a Light Seers deck, so you might recognize some of these cards. But this redefining you, give me a little bit more information on that. It's this one, and one more, and that one right there. Actually, it's this one and this one. Okay. This is interesting because this is another hidden one that goes over here for some reason. Okay, so this redefining you has, before we step into this magic, and yes, you have to get out of the hermit mode, right? It's kind of interesting. This talks about stepping away from physical stuff, but you getting out of your hermit mode, which is, I believe, stepping into your magical you. I'm going to just upload this. This actually goes over here. And we have the Eight of Wands, which has been, this last whole cycle has been an Eight of Wands energy. Very much movement, very much power. And this is, I feel, you're still going to have some Eight of Wands lingering. I almost feel like it's time to step away from this a little bit. And of course with the Three of Swords, it is stepping away, right? Or Three of Wands, I'm sorry. This is all about, you know, reinforcing these cards here. You know, this last month's been dominated by action. And now, I know this is not the end of cycle, but you will need to take action, very focused action, to access this magic for this cycle, right? But you still need to step out of the hermit mode and get into that action, but also you need to step away. It's kind of a really strange mix here of, how do I want to put this? Your magic, you are like an antenna, right? And all magic channels through the earth and then through you. Same with the universe if you're doing universal magic. And this is Sagittarius magic, kind of feel very ethereal, magical stuff. And it works through you. And to do you, you have to get away from this stuff, but you also have to be able to have sense of who you are, right? This is almost like centering and grounding for this antenna of magic here. And what is the magic? This is going to tell us what our magic's going to be based around this new moon, because we have a lot of magic here. And let's see what we got here. The magic, Hecate, the magic, is it those two? Okay. Okay, she's got there's a lot of choices here for magic. And you're going to have to pick one, right? Unless all three of these line together, we have cleansing with salt, boundaries, right? This is protection magic. You probably have to do some protection magic. A lot of times you do protection magic before you do any other major magic. And more, we have the witch hunter, right? Now this came up a little bit ago in one of our readings, this witch hunter, which means I think there's something in there to protect. And the seasons of the witch, right? So there's three. I almost see this witch hunter as you, but you're not hunting witches. You're seeking something, you know, and it's a little bit dangerous. This is protection magic if you have to do it. This is like witch hunter, and this is being with the cycles. In fact, we're in the second cycle almost. It comes up in a few days, the second cycle. We'll do the reading for that too. But this is being whole, right? Holistic magic. This witch hunter is a little bit more obscure. Okay, some more of these. But protection magic's pretty. This witch hunter is just stuck in my brain, so we're going to go ahead and draw a witch hunter one. Give me more information about this witch hunter magic that I think we need to do. Witch hunter magic, give me a little bit more. Okay. So we're looking at the wheel in reverse. I instantly, when I saw the wheel is about cycles, right? And going up and down. And upside down, it's in this bottom half of your cycle. And the witch hunter, I believe, is shadow work. The more I look at this. And this type of magic is shadow work. This is journaling. This is going deep down into dark emotional journeys and doing really heavy stuff to clear out that. And this protection magic, what do we have to do for protection? What are we protecting against? Or whatever. It's protection magic, and it was that one. And temperance, balance. Right. So we got protect yourself from a masculine entity earlier in the month here. But this is about protecting your balance, if that makes sense. Right? So this is interesting. So, you know, between left and right, you know, hot and cold, masculine, feminine, front, back, all these things. This is what you need to protect, because you're losing too much in this focus or something. It was taking too much, and you threw you a little bit out of balance. So that's protection. And you might have to do all three of these magics, honestly. And then we have our deep shadow work. And finally, the seasons of the witch. Give me a little bit more information about the seasons of the witch. I'm almost just hear it in my mind that that the seasons of the witch are holistic, becoming beautifully you. And yes, with the reverse strength, step outside of yourself, and the reverse ace of cups, which is all in your heart. This season of the witch, it's all about holistically working with all kinds of energy, right? The little lamb energy of who you are, the weakness of who you are. You're the lamb here. And it's not about being super strong and standing up for all of your rights. It's about nurturing inner children. It's about dealing with things on this very internally deep level. You know, the Ace of Cups is upright. Sometimes it's all about starting stuff. However, sometimes it's about the heart, right? This is about turning your emotions, your thoughts inward to become holistically you. So these are our 3 magics of what we are need to do, or going to do, or could do. You could do all 3. You can do any of them for this magic. So what else? Do we need anything else? Or are we just right at the hidden cards? Oh, okay. I heard steps, right? Steps. You know, you got this types of thing, but there's no steps here. We've got this. This is a step of stepping outside and away, but you need a step. Is this deck? She said no. No. Yes. Okay. Our Brittany deck. That was kind of interesting. I kind of went around this kind of thing. Okay, is it this one? Okay. So, she just said don't read the book. You know, generally I read the book for these Brittany cards. But this is steps that we need to do, or a step we need to do for our magic. Besides, you know, this and the starlet, right? A step. Interesting that we get this. I almost got this. See how she's all wearing all white and it says starlet? Okay, so let's really, all white represents this almost like angelic goodness. This, I know, like I mentioned earlier, my Christ consciousness work is about to come up. And by the way, if I go wildly crazy on my channel, you know what happened. Hopefully I don't go all Jesus-y weird on you. But I'm going to access the darn stuff because that's what Hecate said is the next step. And she's going to hold my hand through it. But this is this white angelic goodness, right? And if we read star and then let, this is becoming your inner star in this beautiful white energy. And I know a lot of us are a little bit scared, especially if we got the witch hunter, which is shadow work. But all these steps, in fact, I could see these steps going straight in to this Christ consciousness work. And in fact, this is weird. You know, as I look at this reading, these are the steps to Christ consciousness work. And you can go back and watch that other video, but release yourself in the material realm so that you have your magic protection into inner balance, protect your inner balance, do deep, dark shadow work to release internal traumas that are stepping in the way, and then internally help your inner child and become holistically you so that you can step into this inner star self, which is drawing in all the energies and brightening yourself up, and then accessing and pulling in look at the blonde. It just hit me. Oh my God. I have a friend who's blonde. I won't mention her name here, but she's the one who started me on this weird Christ consciousness journey of all types. But I see this right here that she's like, you know, and if you're watching this reading, I know this is getting a little bit weird, but I think somewhere if me and you are vibing, maybe not this new moon, maybe a different new moon or full moon, or maybe it is this moon for you. But if you want to be holistically magical, You know, if you want to be this whole magical being and not just, you know, one-sided or lopsided, but you want this balance, you have to do the inner dark work. You have to go work with, you know, beings that scare you a lot or don't scare you. You know, the first time I encountered some demons, they scared the crap out of me. Now I basically bind them away and they don't bug me anymore. But you have to go into the darkness. You have to deal with some of the things. And then you also have to deal with the light side. You know, honestly, I'm more scared of the light side than I am scared of the dark side right now. And I always kind of was. The dark side is about mercy. It's about healing. It's about going deep within and dealing with and taking care of traumas and things. And those things can overwhelm you, and that's why it's kind of like the dark side. But it's also about healing those things and working through those things. Where the light side is all about severity, this overpowering, supermassive energy that's overwhelming, and it will blind you if you're not careful into its over-dominating themes of all lovey-dovey light and goodness. If that stuff comes too much, you will lose sight of everything else, especially since the God of Abrahamic religions have stepped in. They've really taken dominance of this powerful magic that is there. So, excuse me, I'm drinking a little tea. So this white magic can be, and you do need to protect yourself, especially your balance when you go into this. But, yeah. I'm surprised that this came out as this is the thing. So we need any more messages besides this? I hear no. The hidden messages. Okay. So these little hidden messages. Okay. A little bit more protection. Ooh. Okay. So for these hidden messages, she said cleanse the white. Okay. So they kind of crossed each other, which means that there's something together with them. And yes, follow your intuition in all things magical, right? If your body says to sleep, just go to sleep. If your body says to wake up, wake up. If your body says do some magic, do some magic. If your body's, if it's not really your body, intuition is interesting. Intuition comes in many, many ways, right? And you can look it up. There's the Clara stuff. There's like clairaudience, clairvoyance, Clara, feeling. I can't remember what it's called. There's Clara, all these different things. Taste. I don't think I have taste, but you never know. But sometimes I get a lot of feelings. Just, this is the way it is. Sometimes your emotions will spike or change stuff. You watch some readers, it's their emotions. Sometimes people hear little voices in their head. Generally, they call us crazy when we do that. But yes, sometimes you hear little voices, like when I looked at the cards, I heard no, yes, right? So your intuition, however your intuition works, it knows the way. And intuition is not based on fear or anything like that. Intuition is you just know. If that makes sense. If you're in a fight or flight situation, that's not intuition. That's your animalistic, your spine telling you to run or do something. Intuition's not about the animalistic. You can tap. This is going to get weird. But when I did martial arts years ago, you can tap that animal self. If you watch the old Riddick movies, he talks about the animal self. That thing that wants to be a hunter, wants you to go out and just be an animal. That is something, and it generally resides in your spinal column, and that's why a lot of people say stop thinking with your spine and stuff. They call that the snake path sometimes. but it's your animalistic self. And the Kundalini a lot of times activates your animalistic self as well as the other centers as well as your higher self. So you have a lot of these different pieces of who you are. But this is about not your animal self, but the other emotional center selves and the other chakra selves. And you can get a feel in your chakras for your intuition. Sorry. Well, let's continue on. Just shut up. Right? You don't need to go too much into intuition. You could do a whole video on that later. And the crossing is the King of Wands. So this is more, animalistic self here. I don't know why I ranted on about animalistic self here, but the King of Wands is also an animalistic type card of self, of this moving the magic from your, right there. If you look, that's what we're talking about right here, right there in your pants. And for girls, you got right there too, so don't think actually girls have it a different type of animalistic self, but it's still there. It's not really different, but it's the magic access is different between girls and guys, if that makes sense. A lot of times guys are on this daily cycle that it burns every day, where girls are on the lunar cycle. Duh, that's why we're in the new moon. But it accesses every month. And honestly, a holistic balanced self, you'll balance those two things. You'll have daily lunar cycles that activate within your body, because we're all part of Mother Earth. And there's actually yearly cycles and 7-year cycles and solar cycles, right? We're in an Aquarius cycle, which is this beautiful, magical, this is the perfect time for accessing all of our magic that's never been around before, because we've entered the age of Aquarius, which is this glow up cycle for the entire planet. Not just you, but for the entire planet is this glow up. And so this hidden thing, it's kind of weird. I wanted to say it wasn't about the animal cycle, but this card, your animal cycle is there. And it's important. It is part of this earthbound section, but you are an animal. And that's hidden knowledge that's going to help you throughout all of this new moon, all of these magical steps that we can do, all of this letting go. This animalistic, whoever you are, the animal within is in your spine, is going to aid you. And it might even add to protection and yes. Oh my God. As I'm sitting here talking about it, I see it now. Animalistic into balance, right? It's not all about etherical magical. There is earth magic, the animal magic. The traumas, this deep, darking stuff, you have to heal not just, these weird emotional trauma stuff. There's animalistic trauma here. That it's animalistic ones. It's ones that came from our ancestors. It came from deep down things from a long time. Your ancestors and stuff. This animalistic, the Naga, right? That's a whole nother video with the Naga. And then we have this holistically you and dealing with your inner child and stuff here. In this holistically you, there's an animal aspect to being the lamb, to being the sheep. And is this whatever. And that's all going to aid everything here. And well, the universe just told me to end this video, so sorry about the little cut at the end, but my disc is full. I love you all, and bye. Talk to you later.